Hello everyone, it's been a while, but we're excited to be back. We've been working on a 2D platformer game, and in this video, we'll make the player move using Unity's new input system. I've already set up a player character with a collider, a rigid body 2D, and some basic animations. We'll also use a simple square with a box collider 2D as a temporary ground, which we can replace with time maps later. We use Unity's new input system to make it easier to support different controls across multiple platforms like PC and consoles. First, go to Window, Package Manager and install the input system package. Then, create a new input action asset and name it Player Input Actions. Check Generate C# class and hit Apply. Double-click to open the Input Actions editor. We'll create a new action map and name it Player. Rename the default action to Movement. Next, delete the original binding and add a new up-down left-right composite for movement. Since we'll only use left and right movement for now, delete the up and down bindings. We'll set left and right to the A and D keys on the keyboard. Once you're finished, hit Save Assets. Now, let's create a player controller script and attach it to the player. In the player controller script, we'll start by setting up the player input actions to handle input from the new input system. Since we'll be using rigid body 2D for the player's movement, we'll declare it and initialize it in the awake function. We'll declare a private float player speed and set it to 7. We'll also declare a private vector2 move input. Let's create a move player method to control the player movement. We'll read the movement input, check whether it has a positive or negative value along the x-axis and make the player move accordingly. Call the move player method and update. When you're trying to move the player using the A and D keys, you'll notice the player flipping in a very chaotic way. To fix this, we'll freeze the Z rotation under the rigid body 2D component of the player. Alright, that solves the problem. For the next step, we'll make the player flip according to the direction the player is moving. In the move player method, we'll check whether moveinput.x has a positive or negative value and change the Y rotation to make the player face left or right accordingly. Let's add some animation to the player. I've already set up the idle and running animations for the player. Open up the Animation tab. We'll set the idle animation as the default state and create a transition to the running animation when the player moves. We'll add a Boolean parameter to define the conditions for transitioning between the idle and running animations. We'll uncheck Has Exit Time and set the transition duration to 0 for the smoother transition. In the player controller script, we'll declare and initialize the animator. Inside the move player method, we'll check if moveinput.x is equal to 0 or not. If it is not equal to 0, meaning the player is moving, we'll set is running to true. Otherwise, we'll set it to false. This will trigger the running animation whenever the player is moving. Now that we can move the player using the keyboard, we'll add support for gamepads like PlayStation and Xbox controllers. First, we'll add new control schemes for keyboard and gamepad. Then, we'll add another up-down left-right composite for the gamepad and remove the up and down inputs. I've connected a PlayStation 4 controller to my PC. We'll make it listen and assign left and right to the left stick of the controller. Congratulations! We've now made the player move and animate using Unity's new input system. We've just started our Patreon. If you decide to support us, it will really help us contribute more to the game development society and keep doing what we're passionate about. Link in the description. See you guys!